Hello everyone, you are watching the Money and Tech YouTube channel, which is all about educating you on topics that are about money and tech, as well as some other things that I might find interesting at the time. What is a monopoly and how you could potentially create one to earn billions? Let's begin by answering the question of what a monopoly is, because to create one today requires a lot more thinking and strategy than it did a couple of years ago. Basically, a monopoly is when you are able to control a whole market by yourself. The best example of someone who managed to create a very successful monopoly is named John D. Rockefeller, and he managed to make more than $400 billion in today's money. He managed to control 90% of the Standard Oil industry, that, as you can imagine, turned out very profitable for him. But how can someone manage to monopolize a market as much as John D. Rockefeller, especially when we think that he was at the lowest class when he was born? Well, it was actually kind of simple back then. What you have to always consider when creating a monopoly is that any competition is bad for you, and you need to find smart ways to destroy it. As you can imagine, John D. Rockefeller was an expert in doing just that. And you should definitely keep that in mind. To create a successful monopoly back then, you did not have to be the best option the public had, but just be the only option. To achieve that, Rockefeller started by buying other small businesses to lower the competition as much as possible. But eventually he ran into a problem. Not every company wanted to get acquired by him. Because Rockefeller was a smart guy, he knew that if he wanted to dominate in his field, he had to do something about these companies to basically crash them. So, he did just that. The best way to crash the competition from another company is to just make the public think that you are the best option from the two, so they will only buy from you, leaving the other company bankrupt. To do that, Rockefeller started lowering the prices, so much that he was in a loss for some time, but when the other company he was trying to destroy was actually destroyed, he increased the prices to start making a profit again. The cycle repeated itself again and again until he managed to monopolize the whole industry. The problem is that new laws are not letting you use strategies like Rockefeller used back then, so let's discuss why. The first problem is that if everyone was able to use those strategies, then there would be no competition, and big companies would basically rule the world and not enable new ones to start out, which is problematic for the economy as a whole. The other problem, which touches more the consumer like you and me, is that those companies would have the power to put the prices to whatever they desired. Let's say that toilet paper was monopolized. Then the company that basically owned toilet paper would be able to say that for a single package you would have to pay $500. Toilet paper is something everyone needs, so people would still buy it, even if the price was outrageous. New laws are trying to prevent that, so consumers don't have to get taken advantage of these big companies. But let's now get to the thing every single one of you are waiting for, which is how to actually create a monopoly with those new laws. Well, let's take Facebook as an example. They basically have a monopoly in the social media industry because they own Instagram, WhatsApp, and a lot more companies that do very similar things. But how is this not illegal? Well, there are limitless other social media apps out there that you can just hire a chip developer and he would be able to create one for you. The problem is that what Facebook monopolizes is not the industry but the users. Imagine using Facebook or Instagram, but without anyone else on the platform. It would be boring. There would be no photos to look and no one to message. But in the case of Facebook, there are over 2.9 billion users, so your friends are most likely there, and you will find a way to spend a lot of time suing these platforms. If you are interested in finding out the dark truth of how social media make their money and their owners billionaires, then I will link a video below from my main channel that I would suggest you go and watch when you finish with this one. To sum up, if you are interested in creating a monopoly, you need to monopolize the users, not the product. That's it from me, and I will see you all in the next one. Don't forget to leave a like and subscribe if you like the video, and I will see you all in the next one. Have a nice day, you all.